Watson with the steal. Great defense by Posey, set that up. Watson to right for the dunk. Holy cow!
Hello? Son, I have nothing but gunshots.
Lorenzen Wright's mother runs toward investigators.
Police in Memphis, Tennessee have found the body of former NBA player Lorenzen Wright.
That was the last sound anybody ever caught from Lorenzen Wright, a Memphis hero who made $55 million before somebody gunned him down in a dark field. And the person who set it all up shared his last name and his bed for over 10 years. Now look at this. This right here is his wife, Shara, just 3 months after they put him in the ground, sitting across from a reporter and looking her dead in the eye.
Did you have anything to do with Lorenzen's murder?
No, April. No. If I knew who did this to Lorenzen, you would know who did this to Lorenzen.
But you're saying right here, right now, you have no knowledge.
If I knew who did this to Lorenzen, they would be like the man on Leicester Street right now.
And this is that same woman almost 10 years later when the truth finally caught up with her.
She denied it over and over again for almost a decade, but today Shara Wright reveals she knew all about the murder of her husband, Memphis basketball star Lorenzen Wright, helped plan it, and was there to make sure it was carried off.
So how does a man that a whole city loved end up dead in the dirt, set up by the mother of his own kids? Stick with me, because once you understand the why behind it, it is going to sit heavy with you. And the whole thing traces back to one thing, and that thing is money. Lorenzen Wright was Memphis through and through, a hometown kid who made it all the way to the NBA, and over 13 seasons in the league, he pulled in serious money.
According to court records, he earned $55 million over the course of, I think it was 13 years that he was in the NBA.
That is $55 million. But here is the part that breaks your heart, because by the time his playing days were done, almost every dime of it had already slipped right through his fingers.
By the time he was done playing, he was broke, pretty much. I mean, he had 2 expensive homes that were in foreclosure.
He had 2 houses the bank was taking back, and a long line of people he owed money to. And since he was the type to give to anybody who put a hand out, the money went almost as fast as it came in. But even after all of that, there was still one thing left with his name on it, a life insurance policy worth more than $1 million. And that money was set aside for his children. Hold on to that, because everything that happens next loops right back to it. Lorenzen had met Shara way back when he was just a teenager playing for her father's summer ball team, and she was about 5 years older than him. They got serious early and married in 1998, and over the years they built a big family together with 6 children. The marriage looked solid from the outside, but behind closed doors it was anything but, because both of them were stepping out on each other, and friends say Lorenzen ran around plenty.
Lorenzen loved to score in more ways than one. It turned out he was a chronic cheater.
Once you stack the cheating on top of the money drying up and the houses slipping away, the whole thing finally came apart. And in February of 2010, they split up, and Shara filed for divorce, which got finalized just a few months before he died. And here's the part that really gets you, because by the end, Lorenzen had flamed out and was living all the way down in Atlanta, hundreds of miles from his kids, and he was miserable about it. So much so that he told a childhood friend he was thinking about getting his whole family back together.
He's like, I might as well get back to my wife, and just be happy. That's what he told me.
He might as well just get back with her and be happy, because he wasn't happy in the dating scene?
Right.
The man wanted to come home to Shara. So, on the night of July 18, 2010, a close friend dropped him off at her house in Collierville, Tennessee, right around 10:30 at night, and that was the last time anybody who loved him saw him alive. A few hours later, just after midnight on July 19th, his cell phone made a call to 911, and what came through on that line still shakes people to this day.
There are words of panic. There's some cursing on there, and you hear gunshots, as many as 10, 11 gunshots.
A dispatcher over in Germantown picked up the phone, and she heard a man's voice, then a burst of gunfire, and then the line went quiet, and what should have been the start of a fast manhunt instead turned into one of the most painful mistakes this whole case would ever see. Here's the first real gut punch in this story, because that 911 call got fumbled in the worst way. The dispatcher couldn't figure out where it was coming from, so it got treated like some random dropped call, and nobody got sent out to look. The details didn't even get passed along to Memphis police for about 9 days, and by then the trail had gone ice cold. So Lorenzen was left out in a field off Callis Cutoff Road for 9 long days in the middle of a brutal Memphis summer, and when search teams finally found him on July 28th, the heat had already taken a heavy toll, and it was clear right away that he had been gunned down where he fell.
Fortunately, it was 9 days after the murder.
Whoever did it had a 9-day head start.
That 9-day head start crippled the case before it ever really got going, and it would be years before anybody got close to the truth. When police finally started asking questions, Shara already had a story locked and loaded, telling them Lorenzen had left her house that night with a box and some man she didn't recognize, heading off to flip something for a big payout. She pointed everybody toward drugs and a deal gone wrong, but investigators would later say that whole story was made up to send them looking the wrong way. When they searched her place early on, they came across some burnt bits of metal in the yard and a strange letter, but nothing that cracked it wide open just yet. And just like that, the case went cold, with years rolling by and no answers. And for Lorenzen's mother, Deborah Marion, that silence was its own kind of pain, that constant question of who did this to her boy and why. Now, to really understand how hard this loss hit the whole city, you've got to know who they lost in the first place. Lorenzen came up humble, born in Oxford, Mississippi back in 1975, and his father Herb was a ball player too, a man who once got a tryout with the Utah Jazz. When Lorenzen was only 7 years old, his father was badly hurt while working as a Memphis police officer and ended up in a wheelchair. But even then, he never stopped coaching his son and pouring the game into him. He carried that work ethic to the University of Memphis and then on to the NBA, and he was the kind of star who stopped for every autograph and every picture.
Anybody that wanted an autograph, he kindly gave it to him. He took pictures with anybody who asked for it. He was very humble.
And his giving went a lot deeper than the basketball court, because after the family lost a baby girl years earlier, he started a scholarship in her name and stayed busy with charity work all over the city. That big, generous heart is a big reason he ended up broke in the first place, and it makes everything that came next even harder to swallow. About 5 years after the murder, Shara did something nobody saw coming, sitting down and writing a whole novel called Mr. Tell Me Anything about a cheating NBA player from Mississippi who came up to Memphis to play ball. It was supposed to be made up, but the story lined up with her real life almost detail for detail, and she even told a reporter that nearly the entire book was true.
And she said it is. She told me 99.9% of the book is real.
On top of all that, she told him the character based on her husband gets murdered in the sequel she was working on. So the reporter asked her flat out whether she had anything to do with her husband's real death. And you have to watch closely here, because she never once actually says no. She just keeps circling back to the same 3 lines.
I'm a mother. I'm a wife, I'm an author, and the police should find his killer.
And while all of this drama was playing out, watch where the money went, because Shara had collected more than $1 million from Lorenzen's life insurance, money that was supposed to take care of those 6 children. In under a year, she had run through almost all of it, close to $1 million, on a new Cadillac, a Lexus, a swimming pool, furniture, and trips, and Lorenzen's family was so upset about it that they took her to court over the spending. There was even more pointing her way, because Lorenzen's old assistant, Wendy Wilson, said she had recorded Shara threatening him in the years before he died, and she handed those tapes straight to the police.
And she said a couple times, "I'll kill him. I'll kill him."
Neighbors said they had seen Shara burning things in her backyard right after the murder, but suspicion is not the same as proof, and for 7 long years, nobody was in cuffs. Memphis police never fully shut the file, though, and they put fresh eyes on it under an effort they named Operation Rebound. Then the lake finally gave it up, because in November of 2017, divers went down into a lake near Walnut, Mississippi, and came back up with the weapon.
Authorities located the murder weapon in a lake near Walnut, Mississippi.
And that gun pointed straight at a man almost nobody outside her world had ever even heard of.
The gun was traced back to one Billy Ray Turner, a man with an eye-raising connection to Shara Wright.
He was a deacon in her church, where she was a minister.
So how did they connect that gun to Turner in the first place? It came from inside her own family, because Shara's cousin, Jimmy Martin, who was already locked up over a separate killing, had been talking to investigators since 2012, and he led them right to the gun in exchange for a deal that kept him from being charged in this case. Within weeks, police were ready to move on both Turner and Shara, and what came out in court about that night was even uglier than anybody had guessed. In December of 2017, the cops finally made their move, picking up Billy Ray Turner first, and then pulling Shara over during a traffic stop out in Riverside, California, where she had quietly built a whole new life after marrying and divorcing a sheriff's deputy. Both of them were charged with first-degree murder, along with charges for plotting it and for an earlier try at his life. Prosecutors said Shara was the brains behind the entire thing, and they boiled her reasons down to 2 ugly things: jealousy and greed, because she could not stand watching Lorenzen move on with his life, and she had already blown through all that insurance money. When the charges came down, the people in that courtroom who loved Lorenzen could barely keep it together.
Evil, evil, evil. Just the wicked witch of the South.
And when Turner himself was first brought in, Lorenzen's mother just could not hold it in.
How could you have murdered my son?
Then the evidence started rolling out, and it painted the whole picture. Phone records showed hundreds of calls and texts flying back and forth between Shara and Turner around the time of the killing, and she had even deleted 83 messages between the two of them from those July days, but the lab managed to pull a lot of them right back. Turner's phone showed up near Shara's house and then moved toward the very spot where Lorenzen died, right around the time of that 911 call. Prosecutors said Shara lured him out to a wooded area off Callis Cutoff Road, an old lover's lane the two of them used to slip off to back when they were happy, using flirty texts to get him out there with his guard all the way down. The way the prosecutor put it to the jury, pulling something like this off took 2 things.
The second thing, son, was evil. Evil in the heart. It took an evil heart to do this.
Then Shara's cousin, Jimmy Martin, took the stand and told the jury exactly how it all went down, saying there had even been an earlier failed attempt to take Lorenzen out over in Atlanta, and that on the night it finally happened, both Shara and Turner fired their weapons.
Did she say whether or not she had a gun?
Yes, sir.
Did she say whether or not Billy had a gun?
Yes, sir. She said both of them had guns.
Did she say whether or not both of them fired?
She said both of them fired.
Faced with all of that, Sheriff folded, and in July of 2019, in a surprise hearing nobody knew was coming, she pleaded guilty.
She pleaded guilty to facilitation of first-degree murder and attempted facilitation of first-degree murder. She was sentenced as part of that guilty plea to 30 years in prison.
And here is the part that tells you everything you need to know about Deborah Marion, because in that same courtroom, she did not scream this time. She just looked the woman who helped kill her son right in the eye and asked for one thing, a chance to see her grandbabies.
Cheryl, I want to thank you for giving me my grandchildren. That's what I want to thank you for, but I want you to unlock them so I can visit them.
Billy Ray Turner was not taking any deal, though, so he rolled the dice and went to trial in March of 2022, and the jury didn't need long at all.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment.
The judge handed him life in prison with plenty more years stacked on top, and to this very day, Turner still swears up and down that he had nothing to do with it.
Did you shoot or kill Lorenzen Wright?
No, I did not. I never was there.
As for Shara, she came up for parole in 2022 and got turned down flat, and she comes up again in 2027, with Deborah Marion saying she will be sitting in that room every single time to fight it.
Thank you, Jesus. That's the only thing I can say. Thank you, Lord, because he feel my pain. I'm glad she don't need parole. I can't have parole. If I could see my son again, I'll be glad for her to have parole.
Now here's the thing you really need to sit with, because this same exact kind of setup has played out before. Go all the way back to 1994 in Newport Beach, California, where a wealthy inventor named William McLaughlin was shot dead inside his own home. His much younger fiancée, Nanette Packard, was secretly seeing a former NFL linebacker named Eric Naposki, and the reason behind it all was that same recipe you just heard, money, because McLaughlin had a life insurance policy worth about $1 million that Nanette stood to cash in on. Naposki used a key she handed him to walk right into the house and do the deed, and just like Lorenzen's case, this one sat cold for years, about 15 of them, before investigators reopened it and finally arrested them both in 2009. In the end, Naposki and Packard each got life behind bars with no chance of parole. It was the same playbook running both times, with a younger partner who wanted out, a secret lover brought in to do the dirty work, a fat insurance check sitting right at the center of it all, and a body left to go cold while the family begged for answers. For Lorenzen Wright, justice took more than 10 years to finally show up, but it did show up in the end, and his mother, the woman who never once stopped pushing for her son, was finally able to lay that weight down. Do you think Shara fired the gun? Let me know in the comments section.
Everyone else around, you only see the worst in me. He saw the best in me. And everyone else around, and only see everyone else could only see the worst. Could only see the worst. I'm so glad you saw the best in me. When everyone else around me could only see the worst in me. Oh, yeah, yeah. He saw the best in me. And everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Oh, he saw the best in me. When everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Oh, he is mine, and I am his. It doesn't matter what I did. He only sees me for who I am. Oh, he is mine, and I am his.
Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.